Once upon a time, there was a small kingdom called Yunlai, which faced threats from rival kingdoms, leaving its citizens in fear after 2 cities were taken over. Emperor Yunyi was furious with the state preceptor for his slow response in sending troops, despite having military strength. Determined to reclaim their lost lands, Yunyi decided to lead the soldiers himself, but his comrades urged him to reconsider. When the state preceptor finally arrived, he revealed that the national treasury was empty and their weapons were insufficient, making their position precarious. Meanwhile, the state preceptor's daughter, Ruan Qing, visited Yunyi to show him a wedding dress, as her father intended to marry her to him. However, Yunyi vehemently refused, stating he would rather die than enter such a union. In a fit of frustration, he castrated himself to end the unwanted engagement. The scene then shifts to a classroom where a girl named Li Fu is caught reading a comic about the Yun Kingdom. The teacher reprimands her for neglecting her studies and, upon discovering the comic belongs to Li Fu's best friend Xiaoju, sends both girls out of class. Afterward, the teacher instructs the class monitor to search Li Fu's bag and confiscate all her belongings. When he checks the bag later, he discovers it's filled with snacks. As Li Fu tries to retrieve her bag from the monitor, she loses her balance and accidentally knocks over his pen. Embarrassed, he chases after her as she dashes into the boys' restroom. The monitor pleads for her to open the door, but she refuses. Suddenly, the restroom lights go out, plunging everything into darkness, and the toilet seat unexpectedly opens, glowing red. In a surprising twist, Li Fu teleports to another toilet in the kingdom of Yunlai, where Emperor Yunyi, startled by her presence, mistakes her for an assassin and calls for guards. Meanwhile, Queen Dowager Yun's maids share rumors about Li Fu being a heavenly lady who has come to Earth. Dager, believing this could be a good omen for their struggling kingdom, instructs preparations for fancy clothes and jewelry for Li Fu. However, Yunyi plots to eliminate her, suspecting a trick from the state preceptor. As Li Fu explores the palace, she is in awe, thinking she must be dreaming, and slaps herself to confirm her reality, recognizing the hole from the comic of Yunlai, which she thought was impossible to enter. In the comic book, she believes she is still dreaming and attempts to wake herself by running into the main door, but Yunyi opens it with the intent to kill her, causing her to stumble and fall. Later that night, Li Fu awakens in a palace bed, surrounded by attentive maids. One maid, Lena, informs her that Yunyi was about to end her life, but the queen intervened just in time. Li Fu notices that Lena resembles her best friend Shu and inquires about her situation, but Lena insists that Li Fu is mistaken and urges her to prepare with the clothing and jewelry provided by the queen. In another scene, Yunyi questions the queen about her belief that Li Fu has come from heaven. The queen explains that as long as the people believe it, it benefits Yunyi, especially since many have aligned with the state preceptor since his enthronement. She advises Yunyi to integrate with Li Fu, as the public perceives her as divine. Yunyi hesitates, fearing that if their marriage does not lead to prosperity, he will be blamed. The queen reveals her strategy to use Li Fu as a scapegoat if the country fails, while Yunyi expresses concern that Li Fu might conspire with the state preceptor against him, but the queen reassures him. After Ruan Qing's marriage to Yuni, the state preceptor vows not to act against the Yun family, yet Yuni insists he will not marry Ruan Qing and threatens to take his own life if forced. Meanwhile, Li Fu is treated royally by her maids, and soon Ruan Qing and the state preceptor arrive at the palace to meet her. When Li Fu enters the hall, she is struck by Yunyi's resemblance to her class monitor and praises the queen's beauty, impressing her. During their conversation, Yunyi challenges Li Fu to enhance the kingdom's prosperity within a month, to which she confidently replies that she can cover the entire place in gold even sooner. The king, taken aback by her bold claim, threatens her with execution if she fails to deliver. Later that night, Li Fu plans to escape back to her world through the toilet, but upon learning that Yuni is about to castrate himself, she decides to witness the event first. Sneaking outside Yunyi's door, she overhears an argument between Ruan Qing and Yunyi, reminiscent of a comic she read about Ruan Qing's jealousy and her sister's tragic fate. As the past unfolds, Li Fu accidentally slips and opens the door just as Yuni attempts to harm himself. The king is furious with her and commands the guards to apprehend her as she makes her escape from the room. She quickly reaches the restroom, where she finds Lana waiting. Li Fu invites Lana to visit her world someday before she leaps into the toilet seat, transporting herself to her realm. Upon opening the door and stepping out, she is startled to see Yunyi trying to kill her, and suddenly, she wakes up in a palace bed with Yunyi beside her. They share a moment of silence and Li Fu realizes she is still in the ancient kingdom, having fainted after her jump into the toilet. Yunyi warns her to keep her promise by noon, or he will punish her. After he leaves, Li Fu questions Ruan Qing about her plans to kill Yunyi, referencing the comic. When Ruan Qing feigns ignorance, Li Fu confronts her about compelling her sister to suicide and reveals that her father, the state preceptor, has allied with enemy states and is building his own army to conquer Yunlai Kingdom. Just as Ruan Qing prepares to stab Li Fu from behind, she turns around, causing Ruan Qing to hesitate. Li Fu claims she is on Ruan Qing's side and wants Yunyi dead, as he constantly threatens her. She urges Ruan Qing to assist her, warning that she will expose her secrets otherwise. Later, Ruan Qing informs her father about Li Fu. A character is aware of secret dealings with enemy nations and warns that if she isn't rescued from Yunyi, she will reveal their secrets, potentially making them a trending topic. The state preceptor is puzzled, viewing this trending topic as a powerful tool, and is uncertain about whether to assist her. Meanwhile, in Li Fu's chamber, a man brings her food, but she ties him up and escapes in his clothes. As she sneaks through the palace garden, she encounters guards searching for her and tries to hide, but stumbles on a stone and nearly falls into a pond. Fortunately, the king's younger brother, Yunlai, saves her but ends up falling in himself. Fu takes off without helping him and later meets a man who mistakes her for a servant, forcing her to chop wood all night. The next morning, Yunyi wakes her for a court hearing where she is asked for advice on making the kingdom prosperous. Recalling her teacher's lessons on irrigation, she requests a map of Yunlai Kingdom, only to discover it is landlocked with no rivers or lakes, though there are wells for drinking water. As noon approaches, Yunyi approaches Li, sword drawn, ready to execute her for failing to deliver on her promise. Yunlai, who has distanced himself from state matters, intervenes just in time to save Li Fu from his brother's harsh decision. He pleads for another opportunity for her to demonstrate her skills. The state preceptor arrives shortly after, recognizing Li Fu's unique talents and the potential benefits her strategies could bring to the kingdom. He encourages everyone to listen to her, and as she begins to explain her ideas about irrigation systems, she hesitates when asked to reveal her construction techniques, claiming they are a secret she does not fully understand. The preceptor suggests she share her insights with Yunyi, regarded as the son of heaven, prompting the gathered civilians and military officials to urge her to help their kingdom thrive. In a reflective moment, the state preceptor remembers his late daughter, who sacrificed herself to protect the Ruan family's honor amidst public scrutiny. Ruan Qing, her sister, expresses resentment towards her for the family's tarnished reputation, but their father silences her and advises her to seek permission from the Queen Dowager for Ruan Qing to stay in the palace to observe Li Fu. As Li Fu wanders through the palace, she encounters Yunlai playing the flute, and their conversation draws the attention of guards and servants eager to hear her tales of modern technology. She shares stories of cars, airplanes, and the freedom to choose one's partner in love, leaving Yunyi puzzled yet intrigued as he listens. Meanwhile, Ruan Qing secures her stay in the palace, and a maid arrives with news for the queen. Li Fu's inappropriate comments to the servants infuriate the queen, prompting her to confront him about misleading her people. In a surprising twist, Yunlai takes responsibility for the situation, admitting it was his fault for asking Li Fu about her world. As a consequence, the queen restricts Yunlai to the house for a week and instructs Li Fu to learn proper manners from Ruan Qing. Meanwhile, Yunyi reminisces about his late love, who happens to be Ruan Qing's older sister. That night, in a drunken state, he is approached by Ruan Qing, who attempts to seduce him, but he flees, leaving her disappointed. The following morning, Yunyi asks his guard, Hongyi, to inspect Li Fu's bag. When Li Fu arrives and reveals her mobile phone, she turns off a persistent alarm, leading Yunyi to wonder if it's a divine treasure. She shares her snacks, which they all find delightful, and Yunyi muses about how commoners would relish such treats. As their friendship grows, Li Fu teaches Yunyi to play goan, while he introduces her to archery. However, Ruan Qing becomes envious of their bond and tries to win Li Fu over with gold jewelry, but Li Fu sees through her selfishness and dismisses her. The episode concludes with Ruan Qing leaving in anger. Subscribe for more upcoming videos.